Okay, mic up. Swoosh the scene. Haha, joke's on you, Loth. We already started. Sorry, Loth is typing in the Fail Portrayal chat that he's getting a coffee. And he said to start without him. Little did he know, we've already started. The math has begun. It's pseudo just me for a little bit. Axe is in the VC, but he has physically moved away from his computer to get some food.
I'm here.
Oh, you're back? Okay.
I was here a bit. I was here for a moment.
I mean, it obviously, for the reason I have excused your absence, you don't need to feel the reason to stick around for a little bit. Lot's also going to be gone while he gets some coffee.
No, you're good. I just was saying, it's like the calculations say that it'll probably be late on schedule, unfortunately.
And that does happen. But yes, hello, audience at home. We are back for more Fail Portrayal, a show that is about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And sometimes those cards are math. So this is going to be another funny one. Obviously, we started this by just trying to... Well, okay, strictly speaking, the original Fail Portrayal episodes were... Rada just refused to do the Hero Archetype Archive video for a very good reason, because it's actually like 5 archetypes. And so I was just like, I did the Thanos meme, fine, I'll do it myself. After that, it kind of evolved into just looking at terrible Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes, because Hidden Arsenal was very bad, and many other funny things. But generally, when we look at archetypes, you know, there's something to be poked fun at. Maybe they look a little weird, or they had a really cool art design, but, you know, they never had a tournament top in their life. Even last week when we talked about Generator, that deck is still mostly rogue. There are a couple of weird niche places, you know, some weird tops, and they did win. I think it was a YCS.
Listen, a deck around 9s that just make that's based around your opponent drawing a card just isn't the most reliable. Even though it's like a strong deck, it's just not reliable against some other things.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know I remember how much we talked about it last week, but Generator, it's not really a linear deck, but your main game plan is you need boss stage to be in play so you can summon a guy and make tokens so that your effects work.
It's always like Har and then boss stage and then Lava Team.
Because Har is their negate.
It's always their Exceeds monsters. It's just everything else is kind of optional depending on what you I guess make with it.
And we did talk about how Generator cards individually work as generic packages for different typings. You know, some of them to their benefit and not. As we said before, I don't believe Naglfar has ever been used in anything, you know, for his actual effects. Just that he's like the one Generator who's a 3200 guy.
It just makes... I feel like... Two things to say. One, this has just become now, honestly, the Studio Mega Yu-Gi-Oh! Review show, which I think is fine to have just a Yu-Gi-Oh! Review show.
I mean, we're not the only channel that does this, but we do it in the live stream format so people can react and I can, like, pull stuff up on screen and yell about it. We play some tunes.
It lets be more, I guess, flowing with it.
Yeah.
Also, one thing, there is the recoming sub-bit that Omega does not make, but I make and some people make, of that, like, possible side media that Konami could just make from Yu-Gi-Oh! Properties as whole own games or, like, animes or movies.
You know, yeah, if Konami were a little more ambitious with the property, they could do more, but they don't. Though, funnily enough that you mentioned that, so we're going to talk about Mathmech today. There was some prelude for we're talking about Mathmech, which is a deck which is, like, Generator, rogue deck. Has some rare tops, not really a primo deck, though, like, only had a small handful. Dragon Maid didn't really do anything in the TCG, is and has been a meta deck or an engine in the OCG for literal years. Like, you will look at OCG meta lists and you will always see some weird slice. Yeah, I don't actually know if it is like Maxi does it, because, like, I don't think that there's a lot of Dragon Maid decks in Master Duel, like Dragon Maid hybrid decks, though that Dragon Maid tier deck was very cool before they banned all the tier cards.
I tried to make Mathmech before, I just never played it consistently, so, like, if it says anything about how I liked the deck was cool.
But Mathmech is a deck that is very good. I pulled up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks.com list to look at all the tops MathMech has. First of all, when, not exactly when this deck came out, because this is another Mystic Fighters. Forgot the name of the set for a second. Mystic Fighters deck, so that was late 2019. So, not right away. I do believe that Generator got some pinches in there. Actually, let me check top decks. Has Dragon Maid ever topped over here? Dragon Maid, deck type. Yeah, but those are all hybrid decks from much more recently. There's a OTS in Tirana. I assume that's got to be South America or Europe, which are also because of the way supply works, very slightly different metas. But November last year, an OTS was topped by Dragon Maid branded. There was a LA regional where also branded Dragon Maid. It says branded Bestial Dragon Maid, but we can call that branded Dragon Maid. That got to a top 8. And Dragoonity Dragon Maid actually placed in England last year as well. But also, Dragoonity decks are just good. So yeah, Dragon Maid has, no tops over here. The first couple of MathMech tops are from early 2020. I think that's, just immediately pre-COVID format. Because these are not... Yeah, these are actual WCQs and regionals, not remote dual championships. But yeah, no, I think it was just a combination of banlist stuff, and this is around when early 2020 is when they did the revised Master Rules, what we usually call Master Rule 5, to kind of free up some of your zones. And that seems to be all that the original MathMech guys needed for some tops. This is just a MathMech core with some hand traps and some Cyber's good stuff. I'm looking at these 2020 decks. And then MathMech basically fucking died for all of COVID format. Though there are a couple of remote duel events where, MathMech has done well. There's a couple in 2021. They were still viable. And then, once they got their new support in the form of Diameter and then Circular in Pote, the wonder set of Legacy support, the deck really took off. And it basically was taking names, not a lot of first places, but a lot of top cuts, a lot of top 4s, top 8s. It was taking names right up until the TCG and the OCG both put Circular to 1, which combined with the fact that Bestials still exist as permanent Chaos DD Crows, basically have killed this deck. I think they were kind of in the can until, they didn't really take off until early this year when the Cash Tier format ended, or Tier Sprite, as it were, as well. But they were ripping along.
Are Bestials still around mostly because they can? Are they focused on non-light and dark attributes? There's been a bunch of fire stuff in the last year and a half.
Yes, Bestials are still legal, and even if you don't play pure Bestial decks, you can still play a 3-1 or 3-3 package as part of Dragon Link, which, as I hopefully don't need to remind chat, was our World Championship winner this year. Was a Dragon Link deck. But yeah, so basically, unless Konami does actually do something about D-Link as just the Dragon Soup deck, which they do not seem to be super inclined to do at this current time.
They were Dragons, didn't they? They just released new Dragon support, didn't they?
Not exactly. There is a new Dragon archetype they're previewing. It does seem to be mostly fire-based, which is nice, but it's
it is
synchro.
Fire Dragons with synchro.
Yeah, it's synchro archetypes, and it appears to be based on Mahjong hands.
It's also both battle phases for both their effects.
Well, that's nice. So yeah, that doesn't necessarily seem like it will slot into, the Dragon Link soup, because they already
it might line
up
with Sword Soul and some parts a little bit, or at least some with at least one or two.
Swaswa is
at least the fire cards of Sword Soul.
There might be some synchro payoff because I think all their guys are generic. So yeah, but yeah, that's kind of put MathMech in a bad state. And Master Duel is trying to follow suit, but doing it poorly because I don't know why Konami doesn't want to give you 30 free just. Every new deck that actually does anything has like 4 ultras in it, most of which you need to run as a 3 of, so it doesn't fucking matter. But they put diameter to like 1 as opposed to circular to 1, so MathMech / Cyber's good stuff will still be a valid deck in MD. I don't actually know what will be on. We are actually coming up on a TCG ban list, aren't we? I have no fucking clue, actually.
I don't really know what to hit, because isn't the format kind of very flexible right now?
Yeah, this is the thing MBT has actually been talking about in a couple of other creators, but, like, there's a lot of weird shit winning. Like, Bestial Runic just won a YCS. There was a generator top at a regional, like...
Yeah, it's been a lot like, it's like Edison, where the format's always kind of changeable.
Anything can win right now, because I don't actually think any of the, like...
There isn't an impressive deck
What was our last... Let me actually go to the... because I'm on the Wikipedia anyway.
It was like tier cash, but all those cards have been
that was you know, the front half of this year. What was our last set in the TCG? Well, we got Structure Deck Fire Kings, but that literally came out this month, so there won't be any Fire King bans yet.
Well, eventually, I think eventually there's just going to be a Fire deck at some point that just, I think, does a lot of shit with like Fire Kings and other things like that. So maybe like even like fucking.
I don't actually think Fire Kings are very.
I mean,
friendly
or at least
with
a Fire
other
deck.
sets.
It might be like Bright Fleet and like basically just like Fire Dragon or just
TCG,
Fire whatever.
2023.
You think Fire will make Salad good, or do you think you like just more like other kind of fires, like Pyros, like a Pyro deck? Or
I mean,
something?
I think Volcanic has a line now because they're gonna they got their support. But
there's like Torch and there's Oil now.
Oh, those are all just cards to get manga stuff out. Those aren't gonna be good. I mean,
well, tell you what's the level
Oil.
for, like, Pyro
Oil
Searcher?
is salvage for fire types. That might actually be good, but in general,
Torch
they're
is
just
a
adding a
rota
bunch of
for
little
Pyros.
weird shit. That I will not necessarily mean anything.
Why is a Rota for Pyros not a good thing?
Don't they already have a Rhoda?
That's the card I'm talking about, Torch.
No, I mean like Pyro. Well, I mean, first of all, Axe. There's no generic Pyro deck. There's no Pyro soup deck. So, is there a Pyro archetype that needs a Rhoda? I guess Volcanus can use 3 more copies of Rocket. Yeah.
Makes the deck work.
I don't actually like. That's the thing. Like with cards like Oil and like Torch, I don't. There's like one Pyro archetype that matters, and it already had its own in-archetype stuff. Will that little bit of consistency be enough to push it over? I don't know. Okay,
Oh, wow.
Age of Overlord was the set that was most recent. Agov. What the fuck came out in Agov? More Monadium. I guess that's a thing. Rescue Ace is, like, cool right now, right? Actually, I'm already on top decks. Let me see. Can you just tell me who won? Number 1 deck, Kashtira. In the last, let me do the last 3 months.
I was looking at the Sengen Dragons and like, damn, these are good cards actually.
According to Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks, your top 5 most used archetypes in the last 3 months that at least have been recorded is Unchained at 10, Kashtira at 6 still. God, people will not let that one go. Branded at 5, Bestial at 4. Also, those are the same fucking deck. I'm sorry, they are. You just don't. All the good Albaz fusions use Bestials anyway. And oddly enough, at least according to like the YGO Pro site, number 5 and number 6 are also at 4 anyway, and it's Flu and Pearly. So yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know where we'll go with the ban list.
I forget. Is Unchained mostly fires or is it darks?
No, it's darks and stuff. There are some fires in it, and I think the new one might be fire, but again, it doesn't.
Okay.
We're not. I don't think we're yet at critical mass of fire. Konami is trying this year for sure. It's been a year of fire, but yeah, no. Agov is like. They did do the new Shino Barons that don't do anything. Did the Earthbound Servants, which were cute. That Exceeds Armor shit is gonna be a pain in the ass. I mean, we've gotten a lot of Snake Eye, but that's mostly a very small package. Sorry, I was just checking at Agov, and I see there's a new Ogdoadic card, and I'm like, cool, what does it do? It just summons more tokens. Why? Stop doing that to Ogdoadics. They already have, like, 2 cards that generate tokens. They don't need tokens. They need monsters that do things.
Make a thing that makes Snake Rain viable.
I mean, Snake Rain is already viable in the deck. The problem is that, like, you can put 4 reptiles in your graveyard and set up to make your big snake guy, but then your big snake guy is just like, hey, are you from the graveyard? You're negated. Guess what does that way better? Exorcister. Because they gave Exorcister a card that forces cards to move out of your opponent's graveyard so you can do the funny. Also, they have a built-in extra deck, which is something that Ogdo doesn't have. I appreciate that we've got a lot of power cards that have, you know, like, pushed through the main deck as a boss place. Lab is like that. Rescue Ace is like that. The reason why R Ace and why Lab work is because they have, in the case of Lab, a couple. In the case of Rescue Ace, I think you only have one big main deck boss. But they have really good spell and trap support to go behind that and have generic extra deck monsters that work with them. You know, whereas the only extra deck reptiles are that one Alien Link 2 and King of the Feral Imps, which is great. Give me some yos for King of the Feral Imps in chat, but yeah, it doesn't do anything. Anyway, we've been here for like 20 minutes. We should talk about some math mechs some more. I know chat asked us about meta stuff, but like I genuinely don't know. I don't even fucking know what's good right now. What are people complaining about? I know MBT keeps making 10-minute testings, but they're all just decks. I guess it's R-Ace. So, Math Mech, though, like I said, it's a good deck. Or was a good deck until the ban list limited it, and we'll see if they unboxed Circular. Though, certainly, the way that it is tearing up in Master Duel with that new Firewall stuff, Firewall's back, and he's bigger than ever. So, Math Mech is an interesting archetype because we have basically zero fucking lore about them. They're just guys. What do? Don't know. They are interesting because I was gonna use this as a transition earlier, but we did get sidetracked. You talked about side media. Math Mech is in the Structure Deck manga. Why? Don't know. But it is used by a character who is apparently, you know, very extra. Here, let me show you, since we haven't been using the fucking paint graphic at all, let me show you what this kid looks like. This is the Math Mech kid in the OCG Structures manga. So, yeah, he's like one of the manga's 4 Heavenly King type guys. The Dark Duelist. Why is he a Dark Duelist when there's, like, one Dark Monster in this deck? Don't fucking know. Anyway, Math Mechs.
Math is evil.
Hey, we did manage to stall long enough for Loft to find his coffee.
Look. Energy equals me times coffee squared.
Nice.
So 0.
Fuck you. I'll burn your house down with math.
Wow, big math.
You're supposed to figure out what the 0 in the equation is, though.
I
You
have
still
coffee,
actually
therefore-
you did that thing where you took his joke and then you negated it. Don't do that. That's bad improv.
I can't believe you're playing Blue in real life.
Don't know if that's quite right. Oh, somebody's microphone.
I'm sorry. Yeah, look.
No, because I
As
didn't hear the 1.
As I said, Axis is gonna keep fucking stop looking me with jokes that actually feel like a backhanded insult. So you know what? No, I'm just gonna sit here and eat my food.
Have fun. Okay,
Always,
all right.
it's always like this.
Where the fuck was I going? Right, Math Mech. They have no lore. In the OCG, their name is Zanki. The phrase Zanki, literally the kanji used means cutting machine, which is why they're robots with swords, even though they're cybers. Don't think too much about it. But it's a pun on keisanki, which is the word for calculator. And in English, obviously, they are math plus mech. They are math mechs. Mechs of math. I know, real hard.
I thought they were like actually like a Vrains archetype for some reason.
Nope. They're I mean, they're in a deck build pack, so no. These are somebody was like, hold on, we're gonna make the next great thing.
Oh, okay. So
We're brewing.
okay, so then the stuff involving the extra zone is actually intentional.
Yes, no. I mean, this deck came out like literally just before they switched the Master Rule, so they probably knew what was up. So they have two sub-archetypes. Their synchro monsters are called Geomathmech, as in geometry. In Japanese, those are known as Enzaki, flame-cutting machine, but also a pun on Enzan, meaning operation, as in a math operation. Their Xyz monsters are named Primathmech, a.k.a. prime, as in prime numbers. That's why the prime numbers joke is in the description, and Mathmech, obviously. The name in Japanese is Kaizanki, which means clod-cutting machine. But it's a pun on Kaizan, which means falsification, or is another way to say mathematical fallacy. So there's a lot of high-level puns, and just the TCG is just like, put more math words. What does Prime have to do with Earth? Don't know. What does Geo have to do with fire? I guess one of them is called, Geomathmech Magma, even though it's all about math. But yeah, so these are just guys. I do appreciate that these are a Cybers archetype. They are all Cybers monsters, which lets them be very flexible in what they go into. And the big Cybers decks, like at Ignister and the Firewall thing, because it's not really Code Talkers, but it's not really Firewalls. They're just, what the fuck is the name of the guy from Brains? I don't know. The Brains U. Just his deck soup going on there. His Cybers good stuff. They flow together really well, but I appreciate that Mathmechs are not link monsters at all. They have no use for links in archetype. They focus on other extra deck summoning methods, which is very cute. And while I don't know if they're going to get support, because honestly, all the support they need is just for the TCG and OCG, once again, I would like to remind you to unlimit circular. But other than that, there is some potential for this archetype to grow, I think, because they've got some wiggle room. But let's actually start talking about some Mathmechs. We're going to start in alphabetical order with their first block of guys, because they got like 6 of these guys in their main deck to start. We'll talk about Diameter and Circular later, because they came out much later. But first, we start with the A's. This is Mathmech Edition in the OCG. Zanki Adion. I don't know why they abbreviate Edition that way. And so, I mean, I would probably say this guy is a machine before he is a Cyberse, but no, this guy's very functional. This guy is like a Metabot or something. Like, this gives me vibes of like an early 2000s multimedia project where there's definitely an anime, but also we really want you to buy these little plastic figurines and action figures and smack them together.
It does feel like, because they all look very toyetic, as in like they all look like actually have like the joints and everything.
Yeah,
and, like,
you can see all their little joints and stuff. And there's
like,
something about
paint them.
There's something about the shading on this where like he kind of looks a little plastic. Like I don't know what it is. But,
that is like a 3D model, and it's more like a 3D model, I guess. Like it's a 2D rendition of a 3D model kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
If you want to continue with the line of like you paint these, this is clearly the crossover between Gundam and Warhammer.
That would be funny. Aesthetically, what this guy's going on, like I don't think Edition's supposed to be the protagonist. I'm pretty sure that's Sigma. But this is definitely like the Mega Man Zero.
Like it's the standard. It's like the standard model kind of thing.
No, I think this guy's got a cape and a sword. He's definitely important. This guy gives me a Mega Man Zero vibe. Like he is the cool mentor who gets fucking obliterated like halfway through the series.
Well, let's see.
He's the Blade Edge of Mathmechs.
Boy, when you remember that, and you're just gonna keep reaching back in there, huh?
Fuck yeah, I will.
This background is very Cybers. There's just fucking lines, squares, circles that make squares. He's got a weird, like, neon green Mountain Dew aura effect going on that I don't understand, but otherwise this design's pretty slick.
Again, it feels like the whole thing of like, You know, like how in certain things where you have Yu-Gi-Oh! With 3D models, there's always like this weird like aura effect around them, like 'cause it's meant to be like a hologram. I think it's kind of meant to be that kind of thing.
Sorry, I'm nodding because my throat's a little scratchy. Hold on. Okay, all right. I should be able to talk a little cleaner now. Sorry, yes, I was nodding along. All right. If we have no further comments about Mr. Ad.
Isn't he like? I'm trying to guess. I'm trying to remember his effect vaguely. I think it's like give a thing it synchros with 1,000 attack, or it just gives another thing it's 1,000 attack.
It does give. It does
believe-
add 1,000 attack. Yeah, but we'll
I believe it's either summon from hand, or like special summon from hand, or discard. It's one of those two.
No, it's even simpler than that. But we'll talk about what he does really quick. So, Addition is a fire cybers. They have a few different types going on, mostly fires and earths, but they do have a couple of lights and darks. And as I mentioned earlier, it is the problem is that all their really good cards are lights. Diameter and circular are both light. But he's level 4 because, you know, levels don't mean anything. He's got 1,000, 1,000. You can target a face-up monster on the field. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Cybers monsters, but also special this card from your hand, but it can't attack. So it does have a slight inherent special, but you gotta have a guy on board already. But if you do, the targeted monster gains 1,000 attack. So I guess you were both kind of right.
I was close.
Yeah. But it's
Okay.
a not quite free special, but it's if you get a guy on board, just any face-up monster, you can special. Also, if you don't care about the attack gain, you can use him as a side ray. You can target your opponent's monsters. You can use his effective addition once per turn.
I didn't fully hear the effect because I had a thing where it's like, oh god, when like you swallow, it's like, wait, okay, my food was not that spicy. How? Oh god, it's so spicy. I had that happen.
He targets
He
a
needs
face-up
some
monster.
milk.
He targets a face-up
I have
monster. He
milk.
locks you to Cybers, but you can special summon it from your hand, and the targeted monster gets 1,000 attack.
Okay.
So a pretty basic extender. You can use him as a starter, but that doesn't do anything other than get you a guy on board, so it's an extender.
It's reliable at least.
Yeah. And
It's where I give the card like the seal of approval and be like, it's a quality card. All you can say about it.
it works. Next up, we have Mathmech Division. He's kind of gold-ish. Or maybe more brassy.
It reminds me of like some era of Transformers and just like this kind of like foldable, but like you can like untighten and tighten like the bits. There's like a spring coil in his like Naginata
Like it just shoots off.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It does kind of look like he's got a lot of like there's gaps for his like his Naginata spear to like come apart or extend. His arms and legs kind of look like you can increase them or decrease them in their position. But yeah,
Judging a
he's
book
doing
by
something
its
back.
cover, this guy clearly looks like the one who is super serious out of all of them. There is no honor in this equation or something.
I do find it kind of weird that the way the background is drawn, it makes it look like these rectangles are like zeros.
I think
which
that's kind of
very
it.
funny
too.
because he's division.
Oh no, there's also zeros in the other cards.
Yeah, I don't know if those are actually supposed to be zeros or if those are just squares.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it's
'cause-
Cybers. This could be just a web. They're inside. They're in the net code.
Yeah. Because the basic stuff is that. I mean, I don't. So. Once again, the wiki's gotten into the weeds a little. Unless there's something about the teaching of what I consider basic mathematical functions that I missed, but we've lumped addition and subtraction into algebra, which yes, technically you can use addition and subtraction in algebra, but I feel like that's basic arithmetic. And same with multiplication and division are also like those are put into the field which is labeled in the lovely little wiki box. The table is labeled calculus and analysis, and I never took
Unless
any
it's a bit
calculus.
from the
I was
mo-
way too dumb for that.
Unless it's a bit from the manga.
No, I don't think so, because I don't think there's any lore in the manga. It's just that
I mean, there's a
the guy
story.
uses
I'm aware, like, I mean, it might be based off, like, in my mind, they're all named accordingly because of what their effect was. So I assume, like, in the manga, that the name of the according, so then he didn't describe the effect as he played the card. So it was kind of self-explanatory.
It could be, but as you this is the problem with using wiki formatting is nobody else uses what we call citations. So I don't know where they got this.
I don't think there's actually like a source of the manga you can pull from.
Well, yeah, there is.
Maybe there is?
The manga exists. That means somebody has taken a picture of it.
Okay,
I know
fair.
that
I guess
source.
there's only
They
raw
made
of
it the
yeah.
fuck up.
But yeah, like I don't. If that's what I'll check the trivia page. Yeah, no, they just say that it's named after Division, the process, and it is holding its spear in a diagonal slash, which is one of the two symbols for Division, and that is the one that is you can type on a computer. So
Yep.
His sword, yeah, because Edition's sword was a cross.
yeah, he was holding it in the plus
crossbar
symbol.
blade.
Yeah, that is a theme that you will see recurring. But yeah, so
Which is a nice detail.
There clearly does have a chakram.
Wait a
as soon as
second, I
the
just
anime
realized something.
what's up?
We've missed a very obvious go-to here with what they look like. These looks like very chunky Metabots.
I mean, I did say Metabot earlier, but you were probably eating too loudly. Your brain didn't understand me.
I was having leftover sausage, right?
But yeah, so no, they are. Like I said, I feel like they look like Metabots or some other like early 2000s multimedia project. Buy toys, watch show. But yeah, so Division is an Earth Cybers. He's one of their Earth line, level 4, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. You can tribute a Cybers monster you control in the EMZ. Special summon a level 1 Cybers monster each from your hand and your graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target a face-up monster in the field, its attack becomes halved. You can use each effective Division once per turn. I do not think that Division is very popular. Like, I'm sure he's been in some deck lists, and certainly if you get the opportunity to use that graveyard effect, that's fine. The tribute a guy from your EMZ to reset your monsters. I guess the idea is you get rid of Magma so you can do Final Sigma. You don't have any problems making Final Sigma in this deck. You just make Final Sigma. You don't go for the 8 then if you like are going to be gummed up on it. You know, like it's cute that they realized this might be a problem where your synchro monsters have this thing where they want to be in the EMZ. Or, God forbid, you make a link that you can't then get rid of and you need your EMZ free for your synchro monsters. It's cute that they gave you a way out of that, but you can also just be better. And I say that as a guy who has bungled himself a couple of times, who hasn't accidentally ashed their own Max C because Master Duel it has a UI written by crackhead squirrels.
What's even stupider when you Max C when your opponent uses Max C when it's your turn. It's like,
I
wait a
mean, I've
second.
seen that. Earlier today, by the way, I bitched about Gate Guardian. The deck's actually cheap. Like, most of the cards are rares. The only things that are hollows are the fucking fusions, which you don't need that many copies of.
Oh, good.
But, and also they solved my gem problem by doing the Duelist Cup, so I have been cruising Duelist Cup with Labyrinth and Gate Guardian like an animal. But I ran into a play earlier today where, we did the Wambo Cambo. I tried to add a card. They went for Ash. I went for Called By. They responded by Max C, and then I still added a card to my hand. And then, after Max C'ing me, they activated Droll and Lockbird. Nice hand, stupid. Droll means both players can't draw, by the way, in case you didn't know how Droll works.
Mutual.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
here's
they
a
had
weird
I think they had 4 hand traps in their starter, so there was nothing to be done, but it was real dumb. They ended up losing.
Omega, I know what happened. He pointed a gun to you and then pointed a gun at himself with his free hand.
You know, I had a weird thought. What if Max C was mutual?
God, that would be
my
so
God.
funny. We should do that just to see what it does to the meta. Maximum C.
Honestly, because I feel like it would make it where some decks just don't do anything on like your opponent's turn, but
Yeah.
But what if it lasted for also your opponent's turn?
God, that would be a really long
Sorry,
game.
this
We'd
has nothing
burn
to
through decks a
do-
lot faster.
With Math Mech, I need to share this with you guys. Luckily, this contains no spoilers.
I'll pull up our next card art while we're going. Though
I share with
depending
you
on how
Untitled-
close you guys. Ooh.
Sorry.
Okay, this is us.
Untitled Asian game.
The Goose of Light.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry
yeah.
everyone.
Emmett. You
That's what
bastard.
I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up our next one, which alphabetically is multiplication, which is a card that the people at home might be more familiar with because it was recently used to great effect in the MCS, the final MCS, the top championship, which I do believe was won by MathMech.
Oh, neat.
Was it Joseph Smith?
I don't remember who the winner was. I gotta
He has
check.
like 5 Worlds wins, and I think MBT gives him MBT basically refuses to talk about him because of it.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, he jokes about it. But this
What
is
is
division.
this man's legs?
Jet boosters.
They're jet boosters.
He flies, I
Oh,
guess.
man.
I do like that he's got 2 little swords, which he puts in the X for multiplication. Honestly,
Yep.
this guy looks neat. My problem is, once again, because these guys are so toyetic, as we said earlier, there's no way this motherfucker balances.
No, he probably has like those like invisible clear stands you got to put around his
Yeah,
waist.
you
to
gotta
hold
you
him
gotta
up.
put the little clear stand up his butt to
Yeah.
mid of sit, because
Either that
otherwise
or
those
they-
boosters are not gonna be even.
Either way, or they manage to like have it flatten out so like it kind of sits still, but doesn't sit exactly as still as you want it to.
Oh, he
Or
definitely
he-
bobbles.
Or he has one of those stands that you plug into his back so you hang him up in the air.
I mean, yeah, I think regardless, I think he would probably have a flight stand because he doesn't fly. But I've definitely owned enough, relatively cheap plastic toys in my life that, the mold wasn't perfect. So the one leg was like quarter of an inch shorter than the other leg, and he just wouldn't stand flat, even when they were straight. It do be like that sometimes. But yeah, this is multiplication. He's another Earth, so that's kind of why I think he has the similar like Earth tone color scheme as Division, which is nice. He looks a lot more aggro than Division did with like the red eyes and the Gundam antenna horns. Like this guy seems like the opponent who is like, you think he's gonna be cool, but he's actually much meaner than he seems. He probably runs away a lot because he's got rocket feet. But yeah, that's what I think about that guy.
Yeah. Nah, the jet boosters are really the main screaming force of this art design.
They do take up a lot. His lower half is much bigger than his upper half, yes. Which is fair because this card has a big butt. This is as we said, multiplication. Zunky multiplier. Hello everybody, multiplier here. Today we're gonna play 3 math games.
No. Is this the bite of 87?
No.
No.
But he's an Earth Cyberse level 4 who's got 500 attack and 2k defense.
Actually,
I
wait,
can
wait,
hear
no,
the
actually,
pain
wait,
in Axe's
wait,
voice.
wait, no, I did it wrong. I should have said no. It's the bite of 2087.
Jesus.
That's just ludicrous enough
future.
to work. 2121. Not worth living in. Because we never got to play Math Mech and Future Journey.
The bite of Cyberpunk 2077.
Actually, you guys know why that fell apart or not? I don't remember.
The way I understand it is that
Or I
MBT
think
Joseph just had problems getting other YouTubers to like what by the time they got to like 2016, he'd ran out of the God, how many years is that? It's like 15 years.
I guess
So, like,
visitors, I guess.
30 YouTubers. He
Fair.
did say also I think RJ moved in the middle of the process there somewhere, but I have seen him say on streams and other videos that they are looking to bring it back. It's just not been the right time yet, so I don't know. He's doing other things. He needs to stream for 8 hours a day so he can afford to pay the winner of the MCS $5,000.
Didn't know you
Perfect.
still working paying that off. Fair enough.
I mean, he goes splitsies with his sponsors, but yes, he contributes to the pot.
I respect that of being he's committed to the whole thing he ran. Fair.
But
And he
yeah,
also
so
to pay the people doing the commentary.
yeah, I believe they get some share from that. But so multiplication has 2 effects, which are funnily enough both multiplication based. One, you can target a level 4 Cyberse monster you control. Its level becomes 8. until the end of this turn. If this card's sent to the graveyard, target a cyber monster in your EMZ, its attack is doubled until the end of this turn. You can use each effective multiplication once per turn. So multiplication has some very niche applications, but there is one of the Firewall Link 4s, I think it's Dark Fluid, who has the ability to, like, in battle phase, bin a Cybers monster. So you can just, if you've got a clear board, make that guy, like, 11k and push for game. Which is pretty funny. So that's why multiplication exists, and that means I do think he does still end up in deck lists, funnily enough.
Yes. The things people will be like, yes, this is still useful too. This is not useful.
Yeah, I mean, Division's having attack is very situational. It can work because, at least internally, MathMech do kind of have an OTK thing going on. But, alright, now it's time to talk about a weird boy. This card was in the original Mystic Fighters release, but it's time for MathMech Nabla.
Oh god, yeah, the one with the unfortunate name.
Yeah,
I mean, same after a thing.
But yeah, so this is named after the process, which is called Nabla. That is basically a inverted delta symbol, and it means something in calculus. I think specifically this one's supposed to mean the divergence. Again, I was too much of a dummy to even qualify for calculus classes, and also, honestly, at my college level, probably would have rather died.
Honestly, I'm looking at this and it's like, I like it, but I don't like some of the bits to it, but I really enjoy the color scheme of being black, gold, and graphite.
Yeah, the black-gold effect is really good. The feet are a little too big.
Yeah, it's more the front boots are too big.
Well, yeah, the front, but he's also got, like, boosted claw
giant
feet. Yeah, like, he's got a huge heel with a reverse spike. He's got knee spikes.
Honestly, I think those are there just so he actually can stand his own legs.
I do like the because he's got the upside down triangle symbol on as his helmet crest, which also gives him a very, like, classic, Kabuto samurai helmet feel. But also he's got a sword that, forms a delta shape. This is pretty cool. This guy's clearly like a boss or something.
Yeah.
But I do like his look. There are a couple of details that are a little over the top, but that is a thing sometimes. Like, you can actually, when you're rendering 3D models, sometimes, having bigger, chunkier polygons with simpler shapes is easier.
It's surprisingly easy to fuck up the good color combination of black and gold.
Now, this one uses
Sometimes
a really good
people
one.
just can't. Yeah, people can't do it well. This guy, chef's kiss.
With the kind of, like, purple and gold, like, aura behind him also really works, because that's another combo that flows. So, yeah. No,
so what does this guy do?
This guy's actually pretty important. So, first of all, this is our first tuna that we've seen. Nabla is a Dark Cybers tuner, level 4. He's got 1k attack, 1500 defense. First of all, he can tribute a Cybers monster, any Cybers monster, special summon a Math-Mech, any Math-Mech from your deck. So, he's just, like, Lone Fire, basically, because he can tribute himself. So he is Math-Mech Lone Fire. Also, if he's sent to the graveyard, target a Cybers monster you control in the EMZ. You can make 2 attacks during each battle phase of this turn. So yeah, Nabla is one of your tuners, and when sent to the graveyard, he gives you double attacks. So he is like a Lone Fire. Also, he is an OTK machine. Very brutal.
Okay, that's. I was about to say, yeah, that seems a bit broken if it activates when he synchros.
Yeah, no, because that goes to
Gotta love
graveyard.
those.
Yes, that's how that works. Yeah, he's one of your way you go into the OTK times. But now it's time to talk about the mech that in my mind is clearly the pro tag. Also, I would guess Master Duel seems to agree because he's an SR. It's the Sigma male himself, MathMech Sigma Gaming.
Yeah, from out of the main chunk of boys, he was the only one who was really named different in the main deck.
Yeah. I mean, so...
Also, he looks like he has eyes that you can see.
Yeah. Technically, he is still the use of the Greek letter sigma is used in math. It's basically the sign for, the sum or the summation. Like, hey, this is where we indicate the summation symbol.
He's got a very much color scheme of this is the main boy.
Yeah,
that you
with the
see
kind
in
of
these
like
types of
silvery
shows.
white and red.
Yeah.
He's got a sword, which is vaguely katana shaped.
Vaguely, yeah.
As you said,
Can
Loth
you
has
imagine
eyes.
sheathing that fucking thing?
Well, like a chainsword.
I don't think it spins. I think it's just. I mean, it reminds me because I've been watching Mike Burnfire, Zach and Mike's Skyrim playthrough actually because I've been bored.
No, I need
and
to watch
They've got a
more
lot
of
of
that.
those. Yeah, it reminds me of the complaint Zach had about the orcish weapons because they have like 4 curves and serrations on them, and it's just is weird. But it's red
Actually,
and white with a
funny
little
thing-
bit of black.
Sorry, but from memory, this guy is a fire attribute, right?
Yes.
So if you actually
Actually, no,
look
he
at
is a
the
light.
back of the sword,
Sorry, that's my bad.
Oh,
He is a light,
light?
but he becomes
Damn
a fire.
I was about to say, because if you look at the sword, it looks like it's got like what looks like a cooling vent or whatever the fuck that is. The
He
back
is
there.
paired with the other fire types, though, so he's kind of fire adjacent. But yeah, this.
I just imagine his sword heats up.
Yeah. I suspect the edges are also because of the Sigma symbol. If you guys don't know, the Greek letter Sigma is kind of the like it's the weird angular E looking one, or the sideways M.
This is what peak math mech sigma male GRINDSET looks like.
Yeah, basically. For reference, his weird hat thing is basically the Sigma symbol. It's just kind of on its side, yeah. Once again, this guy's got the toyetic stuff. Like, he's got, well, he does have a pinchable waist. Like, his little shoulder pads kind of look like they slide or click into place, you know? His
He's
arms
got-
definitely got the joints to, like, pose and extend.
He's got the other other thing you see in other mechs. I almost combined math and mech into one word, where his chest also looks like a tiny face.
Yeah. Kind of got them Gurren Lagann shapes, yeah. He's
He's
got
got
big...
like 2 different shoulder pads.
Yeah. No, like I said, it looks like he's got this one layer of shoulder pads that you could kind of, like, pose or clip on. He's got very boxy knees, which looks, like, very toy-like to me. It's good.
Wait, no, the second set of shoulder pads clearly come off as funnels for when he evolves into the synchro.
That's also probably a good idea, yeah. And obviously, you know, he is a light, so this kind of, like, orange-gold glow behind him. Very, Sorry, the word that leaps to mind is very protagonal. Which is not a word, but I will say it.
It also sounds very math.
You guys know me. I'm a wordsmith. I like to say words in new ways. It amuses me. Mostly because
Yeah,
I
I
already have
appreciate-
such a big vocabulary anyway.
I also appreciate the honeycomb-looking parts on the background to the right there.
Yeah, he's got some interesting ones. So, Sigma is also, I argue, he is one of the protagonists because he is your other tuner. So he's another big part of
Yes.
this. He is a light Cyber's tuner, level 4, 1,000 attack, 1,500 defense. I think that's the opposite of Nabla. I think Nabla is 15-1. If you control no monsters in the EMZ while this card's in your graveyard, special summon it but banish it when it leaves the field. Hey, this archetype also has Xyz, so you can get around that. And also, you can't special summon except Cyber's monsters. You can use this effect of Mathmech Sigma once per turn. If this card you control is used by a synchro material for a Mathmech monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. That's right, this guy is your tuner, but he can also not be your tuner if you don't want him to.
What
And he
tuner
just
should have this?
fetches himself out of this. What was that? Sorry, Axe?
What tuner should have that effect?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say, like, how many tuners even have that kind of effect?
There are a
Honestly,
few.
Yang should have had cards like that, where because if you have if all your main deck's gonna be tuners, why not just have some
The
not count if you're doing it perfectly for your Yangs in an archetype summon?
the more common way that works is there are a couple of cards that are like, hey, you can treat non-tuners as tuners if you want. Chaos Angel is like that, the greatest Labyrinth extra deck monster of all time. But also, that's how they made Harpy Cyber Slash Lady work. They're just like, hey, Harpy Lady can be a tuner if you feel like it. Which is another thing that I think more decks should do. But yeah, the ability to turn off your tunerness for in-archetype stuff, very funny. And then you have Monadium, which we talked about a long time ago, like several months at this point, where it's just like, hey, their big synchro monster doesn't say non-tuners. Synchro with all tuners. We don't care. But yeah, Sigma is one of your core cards. You are using him for stuff. He is important. And actually, out of our, original boys, we're at the end of the main deck. Because the
there's
two
not many.
geometry lads didn't come out until way later. This is Subtraction.
Huh.
So,
Additions, like, honestly, it makes me feel like the Addition and Subtraction are like the Royal Guard duo kind of thing.
yeah,
Like,
they're
kinda
they're
tight.
definitely on the same side. His legs seem a little spindly, considering especially how big his fucking shoes are.
Yeah.
But he's got a cape, and he's got a katana with, like, a back saw blade. That's cool. He's holding it not exactly parallel, but, it's a single straight sword, so it's kind of like the Subtraction bar.
Is his shoulder cape on the opposite side from like what Edition had?
I think
Flowing in a
Edition's
different
actually,
direction.
it's flowing in a different direction. I think Edition's actually was, like, both shoulders, but it looked like it was over one shoulder, so yeah, Subtraction is kind of the other way.
So hold on, I'm gonna need to quickly look up what Edition looked like again, because I'm seeing Subtraction has one of those weird shoulder pad funnel looking things I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have it on the other shoulder.
No, Edition seemed like he was even. Though Edition has, like, many spikes and blades on his shoulder that look like they could pop out at a moment's notice.
Okay, yeah, damn. I thought that would be a fun little thing there, but no.
Yeah. And also, by the way, this guy is a really interesting name in the OCG. Much like they called Edition Adion, this is Zanki Subtra. Sabutor.
Yeah, I can see
It sound
that
cooler.
working.
Yeah. Well, probably because saying subtraction is really awkward.
Yeah. Considering the pose he's making, saying Sabutoro sounds like some kind of samurai thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that counts as being racist, but
No, I mean it's that's the Japanese name, and it came out in the OCG first, so that's an intentional thing they're doing. They're making the phenom sound more normal. So subtraction is basically just addition, but in reverse. I know that sounds redundant. You can clip that if you like, but that's how MathMech subtraction works. He's another Fire Cyberse that's level 4 and 1k, and he says you can target a face-up monster. You're Cyberse locked, but you special summon subtraction, and the targeted monster loses 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. So subtraction and addition are extenders. Sigma summons himself back and can, do the whole process with synchro summoning.
having subtraction and addition in your hand when you like in the early parts of MathMech. Sorry, I think I hit my mic.
That's fine.
You can look at your opponent and technically OTK them, because you look at them and go, subtract your monster, make my monster bigger, and just swing.
Yeah. It also really helps if you can do the thing with Nabla's Graveyard Effect to get double attacks. Because like I said, these guys were all in the initial wave of support.
And once again, a huge thank you to Omega for tuning me onto this deck the first time it came out.
Yep, I opened Mystic Fighters and these guys are in there. It's kind of a shame we never got to Mystic Fighters in our Prog series, because that would have been a bloodbath, I'm sure, of like me and Robin trying to scrape every single Dragon Maid together, and Loth, you would probably just be collecting MathMechs. I suspect Axe would probably prefer MathMech as well. And then Dallas would be the generator guy. He would be like, give me those raids.
He would either be generator, or because it was slightly meta, he would be MathMech.
He might actually understand how a MathMech deck works. I haven't ever quizzed him on that. But
yeah, that's how it would go, because I would choose MathMech not because it's great, but because I'm like, math.
Yes.
That's it.
We are going slightly out of alphabetical order for the synchros, but that's just because Magma is the first one, and Final Sigma is biggerer.
Yeah, Final SUGMA is
He's a big boy. This is Magma. And again, they are called GeoMathMech or Enzanki. So
it looks like Sigma just became rounder instead of like HE.
Yeah, the basic idea is that it's a little more apparent, I think, with Final Sigma, but judging by the way the parts are clicked together, Magma is definitely supposed to be Sigma is just bolting on bits from addition and subtraction to his body. He's got like the 2 capes. He's got like some of addition's shoulder pads and stuff. His body is a lot longer and more armored now.
I do appreciate, yeah, you can see like the split down the middle at the back there of the 2 capes. That is a nice detail. Also, hold on. The capes have formed like a cloak because it also goes over the front of his arms, which is a really nice. I love when that happens with some coat. Fuck. I did the thing where I combined cape and cloak in my head and tried. Yeah. So basically, if his arms weren't up, he'd look like a wizard.
Yeah.
A math wizard.
And basically,
a mathematician, if you will.
I will read you the description for what a magma in algebra is, and you guys can draw your own conclusions. In abstract algebra, a magma, a binar, or rarely a groupoid is a kind of algebraic structure. A magma consists of a set of a single binary equation that must be closed by definition. So it's a very simple, like, 2-part equation that is basically solved. And I think that works as a name because despite the fact that Magma is drawn like he's made up of 3 guys, he is a level 8 synchro, so you make him with 2 guys. So yeah, that's kind of a cute little thing they have going on there that I appreciate. And his the sword hilt forms an M, which is the notation for a magma, a groupoid. I have just realized, though, that he is definitely wearing Subtraction's super huge fucked up shoes. They look a little better on him because his legs aren't as skinny, but I see his clown shoes. Look how long those feet are. Loth accidentally typed BRB into tabletop. Wrong zone, but okay. It's fine. We're in secret gaming.
Cool look.
Yeah. Only Lucky will be confused, but he'll get it because we're here, even though somebody took away my fail portrayal status. I just know that I didn't do it. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say about Magma other than me noticing his feetsies. His feats. I do want to say that Magma is one of those cards, though, that, like... Not that there aren't cards with loads and loads of subtypes, but he is a Cyber Synchro Tuner effect, so he's got a very full, card bracket. He is a fire. This is probably why Loth was confused, because both the Geomath mechs, which are obviously supposed to be made with Sigma, are fires. He's a level 8 Synchro Tuner with 2,500 attack and 0 defense. He just is completely generic 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monsters. I would say you'd see this guy more, except he has a very battle-focused effect that is mostly about some math mech stuff. And generic 8s are fucking loaded. It's kind of bullshit. But Math Mech Magma, Geomath Mech Magma, reads, when this card destroys a monster by battle, I like how it doesn't say opponent's monster, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. If this card is destroyed by battle or in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, add a Math Mech spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect of Magma once per turn. So, Magma, basically removes 3 cards when it can attack over a guy. So you can use this to break boards, and if it's popped, it, cycles a spell trap.
Yeah, and most of the spell traps can usually just be to set yourself up again.
So he's...
Or bring him back, because fuck it.
Yeah, he's a good medium, a good recovery tool, and that... Yes, he's only 2,500, but, he does have... your deck is all about, adjusting those things, so it can really go around. Alright, and now it's time for the final SUG. Literally, Geomath Mech Final Sigma. This is just... the way you get this guy is you take your Sigma, you take your addition and your subtraction, and you take them all the way apart and just put all the parts together.
So he went from magician into magic swordsman, it looks like.
Yeah, he's got a flaming sword.
Just take the shoulder pads and just glue them to the side of your face.
Yeah, his shoulders became his face.
Like happened here.
His torso is really long now, by the way, because this is his waistline at this level here.
Yeah.
And his torso goes all the way up here. He is a noodly boy. I do like that they got kind of the fire, though. Also, you can see the final Sigma part because the hilt is, like, extended and wrapped around with the extra bits.
I appreciate that this time the circle is above him.
Yeah.
Whereas with Magma, it was behind and below. To prove that he's on another level.
He's doing some fun stuff. It's like he's descending
And
from heaven.
And also, very fun detail, what looks like embers and all that coming off of the flame are tiny little hexes.
Yeah, that is it. Sorry, slight yawn. That is a cute detail. So, Geomathmech Final Sigma is a Fire Cyber Synchro effect. He is a level 12. He is a big boy. Now, he's only 3k attack, 0 defense, but he is completely generic. You can make him, he's also a 2-mat, which is rare for
He
12s.
is a fun thing to throw into the fucking Malefic deck, because you can make him.
Yeah, this guy's very weird. So the primary thing this card is, because you might think, oh, a level 12 Synchro that's only 3k? That's not really that impressive. You're right, it isn't. But let me read you the first line of this card's effect text. Unaffected by card effects except Mathmech cards while in the EMZ. So if you put this guy in the EMZ, he has true protection. You cannot fuck with him unless your opponent is also playing Mathmech. If this card in the EMZ battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts is doubled. If it is destroyed by battle, or if it's somehow destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Mathmech card from your deck to your hand. You can use this effect of Final Sigma once per turn. So this guy does double battle damage, and it's unaffected. Keep in mind, as we've discussed, your whole deck is full of cards. Multiplication can make this guy 6k. Nabla can make him attack twice. If you want to extend, cards like Addition and Subtraction can make your opponent, much bigger and much smaller. Loth talked about how you can do the OTK Wombo combo setup with Addition and Subtraction. You make your monster bigger and your opponent's monster smaller. And if you're doubling that damage, that's not just a 2k swing, that is a 4k swing, which can be enough to just end the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this guy's not the worst boogeyman in the world because he is only 3k attack normally unless your opponent does get some of their extra setup extension. There's a reason why this is not the way that most competitive Mathmech decks go, though I do think a few of them do keep him in there just because it's like running Cybers at Ignister, right? If you can make Final Sigma, he can sometimes just end the fucking game.
Yeah, like with modern Mathmech, I've seen them also go to the Xyz line, which I guess makes sense, but
the Xyz line is more flexible as an extender, and like, as we know, I know there'll be some moaning and groaning about this, but technically, while he is not quite as simple to make, you can also access an access code line usually in Cyber decks, which can include the Mathmech style. That guy can also usually close out a game.
Oh wait, no. Sorry, access code. You banish links, not.
Yeah. But you do.
Like, yeah, Mathmech's are different attributes.
They don't have any links in deck, but you can set up link plays with them just as easily. So you have options. Like I said, I think the Final Sigma, scare factor works better. Also, though, that multiple attributes thing you talked about, because they do have like 4 technically between the lights, the darks, the fires, and the earths. That does make a great setup for Cybersat Ignister.
Yeah.
Because that guy likes more attributes. So there's... Basically, Mathmechs have a problem. It's like when you're playing FGO and you're like, oh, gee, which, AoE Lancer or AoE Archer with fuck tons of attack should I use? There are a lot of cards Mathmech can make to just win the game.
I'll grab my MP10 Emio.
Yeah,
I guess you can... Never mind. You have coins for him now, I guess, because coins are stupid.
Axe! He's already full out. If I wanted to make him, like, level 120, I can. I literally can, but I won't.
I know,
because fuck him.
It's annoying that it's like that.
I mean, he's a permanent 4-star, so it's not that weird. Instead, it works that way for limited units. That's kind of a pain in the dick. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about boss monsters and Cyber decks. So yeah, Mathmech has a multitude of finishers they can go into.
This is a red man.
He is a red man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But
I'll
like,
shut up.
yeah, that, it's just it's funny how like they have such a wealth of choices that even this guy isn't their primary guy because he is a little small for a level 12, even if he does have the unaffected. So there are other options to go into. Speaking of which, let's talk about their Xyz line because those guys are prim.
Yeah, but no, it's great. Like you go like level 12 with 3k attack. Why? And then you look at the effect, you go, oh.
Yes, because Konami were not idiots, and they made it so that you actually have an out to this monster, which is, like I said, if your opponent doesn't have all of the different, tricks up their sleeve, you can actually, like, just beat over him.
Beat him over the head.
You just punch him. All right, so our first one is Primathmech Alambertian. Alambertian's pretty easy to figure out. He is multiplication and division added together. So he's got, like, multiplications booster legs as his whole ass back now. He's got some of the black, which makes me think it's supposed to involve Nabla, but he doesn't have any of Nabla's geometry in him, so I'm not sure.
It just makes me think multiplication and division combined.
Yeah. The general vibe seems to be that they're all wombo combos of the three, but they're not using a lot of his parts. This is named in English Alambertian. In Japanese, it's Kaizanki D'Alambertian, because D'Alembert is the name of a type of calculus thing. It's also, the box, the wave operator. There's a lot of stuff out here. And I'm just looking at the fucking... There's so many proper nouns in this Wikipedia article. Yes, but it is related to physics equations specifically, like using heavy-duty stuff. So
physics.
Yeah. You use D'Alembert in special relativity, electromagnetism, and electromagnetic waves.
So this might be a quote-unquote privileged thing because I went to a private school, but for physics class, we went to fucking Dream World, which is a roller coaster place, to A, ride on roller coasters, but B, be like, okay, now you must design your own roller coaster.
Honestly, that's actually a good experience. That's a good way to get it in your head. Honestly,
we had a fucking class photo on one of the big rides called the Tower of Terror, and we made sure to put the teacher front and center as the ride's going fucking 90 degrees vertically downwards.
Yeah. So this being physics based though makes with the electromagnetic waves and stuff makes sense that there's so much lightning. Like that kind of fits. Yes. That's good. That's a good line. You can kind of see how his what was originally a naginata is now like a full blown sword staff.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure what parts of it, but like from the addition of like the multiplication like waist late boost, he looks kind of fishy, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why like the bits coming off the waist from multiplications parts look.
He's got some shoulder fins. Yeah. Reminds me a lot of I mentioned them earlier, but the Xyz armor and like full armor type stuff we've got going on.
Oh, in addition, he's got 3 circles, 3 floating cyber
which
circles.
does kind of make sense with his little because his mats. So Alambertian is a rank 4 cyber 6 He's got 2k attack, 0 defense. He is 2+ level 4 monsters, so completely generic. Number 1. You can tribute. Just his first effect is tribute a monster. Special summon a level 4 math from your hand or graveyard. So just he also kind of not quite lone fires, but yeah, he can swap these your guys. Also, if this card is Xyz summoned, you can detach 2 to 4 materials from this card, then activate the appropriate effect. So this is like I said, where the Xyz line gets really flexible. If you detach 2, you can add a math card from your deck to your hand. If you detach 3, you can add any single level 4 monster from your deck to your hand. If you can detach 4, you can add any spell trap to your hand. So this guy starts as a pretty basic 2-mat, extender. You take 2 guys, you search the new guy you need. If you can get him up to 4-mat, which there are lines that do that in MathMech, that's just, you can add any fucking spell trap. Obviously, you can add the spell traps you might need in your archetype, or you can just be like, hey, change of heart. Harpy's Feather Duster.
I forget. Is it you activate each effect, or is it just depending on how many you detach?
You choose how many materials to detach, then activate the appropriate effect. So it's not in order. It's just one at a time.
Damn.
But still,
Can you
it's really
imagine?
flexible because on summon... Oh, God, this guy would be fucking stupid if you did each. Add any spell trap, any level 4, and any MathMech card. Brutal.
Yeah.
That would be so mean. But yeah, Alimbertion is a real power card just because, again, of the flexibility. If you can actually get 4 on board, which is not that crazy, especially because, as we discussed with Sigma, right? Sigma special summons himself from graveyard but banishes him when he leaves, but because of the way Xyz materials work, he doesn't leave the field. Which I actually, like, I've had some people, like, talk about, like, how that works. That I've racked my brain around how that makes sense. I think I mentioned that, like, a stream or 2 ago. The idea is just that, like, materials aren't on the field because that would be way worse. So they technically... Sigma should be banished when it becomes attached as material, but that's not how the rule of attaching works, Okay, this guy's definitely way more Namble than the others. This is upcoming Pre-Mathmech Laplacian.
Oh, Laplacian?
Yeah.
That's how I pronounced it.
Well,
yeah, you can clearly see Delta in here.
Yeah, you can see Namble in there. And
oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Namble is the name of the effect because it's an inverted delta. The Laplace operator or Laplacian is it's a calculus and like advanced geometry stuff. It's dealing with like Euclidean space. You may have heard of it because it's named after the French mathematician Pierre Simon, who was the Marquis de Laplace. Usually use Laplace as his surname. He's responsible for, shit like tidal equations, sphere harmonics, working with big brain space stuff. Came very close to the theory of the black hole.
Oh, man,
And also, you may respond him as he was the origin of the theory crafting of Laplace's demon.
Sorry, I interrupted you there, Omega.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to. I love the design of his sword.
Yeah, no.
It's
So
so
visually,
cool.
this guy's really rad because he's
It
got
is. It's great.
he's got the 2 swords of multiplication, the staff blade of division, but then he's got the big fucking delta triangle in there.
He's got fucking multiplications, upside down jet boosters as legs.
Yeah, he's attached the jet boosters to his legs now. And he's got like
Can only drop kick.
he's got like divisions like Ponytail has become like a fucking scorpion tail now. It's just way up there in the corner.
Oh, it was there in the previous one as well.
Yeah, but like it was still down, so this is like it's pointing up. I get the feeling he could
True.
stab you with it. Talk about also chest face. He's got like all the other helmet bits glued to his chest now.
Yeah.
It's a little busy, but I like it. He certainly cuts a very intimidating figure.
Yeah. He looks like I am 3 guys meshed together and I'm here to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Also, lovely design choice, the 3 circles behind him.
Yeah, they're doing the triple circles again. And they're doing kind of similar to how Final Sigma was. They're kind of doing that low action shot so he looks taller.
Sorry, again, I'm just nerding out. I love the look of the weapon he has. I'm like, yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah.
Similar to Omega, I like swords.
Yeah.
Give me a good-looking weapon, and I'll be like, yeah.
No, it's a cool and unique sword.
Yeah, I'm there too.
So, Laplacian is a Earth Cybers, rank 4 again, 2k attack. He is exactly 3 level 4s, so he is, truly the triple version. He says...
Wait, what? How many defense?
0. Sorry.
Okay.
I think all their extra deck monsters are 0 defense.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, they put all their fucking stats in the attack slot. By the way, this guy has so much text with bullet points that his materials are on a line, and then they put a slash so they could start his effect text. They couldn't afford the line break.
You guys make fun of pendulums, but then you see this fucker.
Here, I'll post the scan so you guys can see. It's right here. See, there's a fucking slash, not a line break.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Honestly, I still at some point I think they might need to make Yu-Gi cards a little bit bigger or English. Just so
I mean, unfortunately, I don't think they could do that because that would require a new printing process.
That's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Because then they can maybe start scaling it a bit better, just so like, you know.
So first of all, he says if a math mech card you control will be distributed card effect, you can detach a material instead. If this card succeeds to summon, you can attach up to 3 materials from it, then choose that many effects. You cannot choose the same effect twice. You resolve them in the listed order, skipping any that were not chosen. So this guy, Loth, procs all effects.
Yeah.
So, first effect, send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Second effect, send one monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Third effect, send a spell trap your opponent controls to the graveyard. So he's like Math Mech Trishula. You make him with 3 materials, and you can choose to detach them. And I appreciate, by the way, you can't pick either effect twice, but they happen in order and then skip. So if you just attach one, you're just like, yeah, I'm going to choose to activate the hand effect. Or you can wait all the way to the spell trap effect, but they happen in the order they're listed. So he's very flexible removal. You can only use the Placian's effect once per turn.
Thanks to you saying that, Omega, I just imagined Trishula as King Ghidorah and Laplacian as Mecha King Ghidorah.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. He does. I mean, he's black and gold, but he is gold, and he does have lightning, though it is purple. But yeah, Laplacian and Alan Bershin are both really, really fun boys. If you want to play Math Mech as more of a control deck, not an OTK swingy deck, Laplacian is your boss monster because that's a triple pop. Actually, it's not even a pop. It's a send, so it's not like in non-targeting. It's just like, hey, you, put that card from your hand into graveyard. Now put that monster in the graveyard. Now put that spell trap in the graveyard. Put them all in the graveyard. So that can be very spicy. And that's all the monsters in Math Mech, funnily enough. So let's just talk about some spell traps, because we can talk about all of them because they still only have 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember if any of these were added later. I think they just put all 4 of these in the core set, and they were just like, these guys don't need any more spell traps.
Good enough.
So, first, we have what was our cover image for tonight. It is the Math Mech Billion Blade Nayuta. So, let me see if I can explain like how this is supposed to be meant. The phrase Nayuta is basically like a weird, like, Buddhism concept. It's generically, it means a big number, like just any number that is very large.
I assume it's always some kind of algorithm. Yeah.
No, it's just a very large number.
Just magma coming out like, check this out, a big number.
I mean, yeah, they call it Billion Blade to kind of give you the feel, but strictly speaking, Nayuta historically in Buddhism meant the number which is represented by 10 to the 28th power. In modern Japanese, Nayuta is used to refer to as a novum decillion, which, if you don't know your huge numbers, is 10 to the 60th power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really big fucking number.
We're talking about fuck you kind of big.
Yeah. So basically, whenever I would say something like a gorillion, a bajillion, numbers that sound like they fit the scheme but don't actually mean anything, the Japanese expression for that is Nayuta. So
does that blade have little like air funnel vents thing to help lift it up?
Yes,
like it just pushes steam out.
It's like the Killing for Rocket Hammer, yeah.
No, those are jet engine intakes, Loth. Notice how there's flames coming out the back of it.
Oh, it's the rocket-powered greatsword.
Yes. No, it has literal jet engines.
Nah, one of the best weapons in Monster Hunter World was the rocket-powered greatsword. So stupid, I love it.
What year was World actually?
Oh god, I was still attending fucking TAFE/community college. I think that's what you call it over here.
Something like that, probably.
So it was a
Probably,
while
yeah.
ago, before I even met you guys.
Because Mystic Fighters came out in 2019. This was why last time with January we made all the jokes about it being like Shadowbringers, even though because those came out like a month apart, you couldn't actually have based anything on it. But yeah, the Billion Blade Nayuta is a equip spell card. It says equip only to a Cyberse monster. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster, during damage calc, you can send a math mech from your deck to the graveyard. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the sent monster's attack, even if this card leaves the field. Also, by the way, you can send multiplication, which would trigger multiplication. If this card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can target a math mech in your graveyard, except Nayuta, add it to your hand.
Monster Hunter World came out at the start of 2018.
So this could be a reference.
I believe the rocket-powered greatsword though came out towards the end of World before Iceborne came out.
So like 2020-ish?
Late 2019, I guess.
So around this time, yeah.
So it's possible that if they did any promo for it, the designers of MathMech could have seen it and been like, that's rad. Or it could just be a case of just like, this is just where our brains were at in 2019.
Yeah, hold on, let me
Giant fairy ladies, mysterious shadow men, and swords powered by rockets. Boy, 2019 was a banger, huh? Also, yes, talking about our Gundam references, yes, there was a rocket-powered axe in IVO, and I think there were a few other rocket-powered weapons over the history of Gundam. Because it's funny. Also, yeah, this card's a fucker. Like, if you equip it to one of your guys, that can be a game ender, because, like I said, you can use it to pitch multiplication in mid-combat and just become the OTK.
Anyone here has played Monster Hunter, this looks like something you could make out of Valstrax. That was the jet-powered Elder Dragon.
Nice. I don't know anything about Monster Hunter yet. I'm sure in 2025 I will.
Lucky and I would drag you into the hole, kicking and screaming.
But we're going to keep on with our spell traps. Here's a card you've probably seen. It's MathMech Equation. It's Sigma, but he's made of ones and zeros. Oh no. Honestly, I haven't ever seen this art blown up before. This is pretty sick. I know it's just like a silhouette with the ones and zeros, but like, it's very reds and oranges.
I know what this makes me think of. This makes me think of a very specific thing.
I was like, what will it be? It's a Hildebrand gift.
Yeah, it's Sigma going through like the math in his head. He's like, wait a second.
Yes. So this is a very simple card. Equation targets a math mech in your graveyard, special summons it. If you do, it gains 1,000 attack. You can only equation once per turn. So it's not a searcher, it's a, in archetype reborn. With attack fixing.
Again, I feel like I've talked a lot, but it just, weirdly enough, seeing this outline, I don't know why, I'm just reminded of the fucking Digimon movie. I'm just imagining Diaboromon just standing up, dancing on me.
I mean, this particular design, the kind of like, I don't remember what the effect is, but that visual trick where like they draw the lines kind of like, it's bigger up close and then narrows down, that kind of visual effect that it looks like it's shooting into the infinite cyberspace. This looks like a stock visual effect in a Digimon anime.
Oh, I'm sorry. For any of you who are more traditional Digimon fans, Diablomon. Because we can't call it that over here in the States.
Devilmon?
For the children.
I'm used to this. I think I'm used to Cybers. Don't they call him Devilmon in that one?
Yeah, but Diaboromon was what it was called.
Yeah.
Diaboro.
Because they rode around it. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but for modern video games, those cost you a lot of pocket money, so we can call things names because small children can't just turn on a TV and see them.
Like, what was it? Angemon was called like Holymon or something along those lines. It was weird.
I think they eventually went back on that and just went to calling him Angemon.
But regardless, it just looks like Diabomon's trying to stand up on me and telling me that there's a missile coming towards my general location.
Oh boy.
This is him hacking into the mainframe.
All right. Well, let's see what happens when he gets in the mainframe. It's MathMech induction, then destruction. Who wants to die? AKA, nah, he's got the shoulder place. That's final. That's final. He's doing a sword wave. Die.
Yeah, he's got the shoulder blades horizontally on the face.
Yeah, it took me a second to get him, but yeah.
And the cut up cape.
Honestly, this just makes me think of this move that 14 keeps assigning to like paladin-type enemies in solo duties where they dash across the little circle you're trapped in, and then they're like, I'm going to sword attack half the arena. Better get over here. Better skedaddle.
Better skedaddle.
Yeah.
Damn it. Omega, there was a fun version of this where you fight a paladin-type enemy in Bosnia who dashes to one corner of the arena and basically takes up 90% of the arena for a swing.
Oh, boy. Small squishes.
Yeah, you gotta get behind him.
Yeah, induction. This card is not played super a lot because it is a continuous trap card that requires like kind of unlike a lot of other MathMech effects, it requires to be sent from field to graveyard to do its graveyard effect, so it's not great. But you could see it in some plays because it does have some kind of secondary effects. Which is that its primary effect is while it's active, all Cyberse monsters you control gain 500 attack. So it's just like, similar to Fire Formation cards. It's just like, Cyberses, they're bigger. If you control a MathMech monster, you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's
a neat card, but not necessary.
It is technically an interruption, but their other spell trap is their other trap, I should say, is a much better interruption. And I do believe this one
appreciate
no, this was in the core.
Details where the flames are coming out, but it looks like it just seamlessly morphs back into the cyber eyes effect.
Yeah, it kind of goes into the circuitry. Yeah, no, it's a good. They had good visual design for this. It's the big one. You know this one. It's MathMech Super Factorial.
Yep.
And it shows the three Nambla and the two Earth Boys combining. This is their transformation sequence.
I know you're saying Nabla, but my brain is hearing Nambla. And I'm like, no, please.
I know. We all have that problem with Nabla, but he is Nabla, reverse Delta. Which is kind of what he's drawing here.
Yeah, upside down triangle.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it makes me also think of them firing the fucking Ojama beam.
They could be firing a triangle beam, it's true. They're doing the triangle attack from Fire Emblem.
Wait, no, the camera zooms out, it's just Tien making the the thing with his hand.
And that works because, if you guys didn't know, which anybody watching this video probably does know, but to remind people, when Dragon Ball Xenoverse, their kind of like MMO action game came out, the English dub team for that had Team 4-Star record a gag create a character voice, which was Taka doing joke attack names. And the name for the Tri-Beam is Geometry, and for the, the advanced form is Advanced Geometry! I still make that reference sometimes.
Yeah. I know, I hear it, and I go, wait a second.
Yeah. So, and the Super Factorial is the product of the first N factorials. It's a lot of factorizing. It's a thing where
Factorial is what is a thing.
But
at least when I'm dealing with derivatives.
Yeah. At least not yet. That might, you never know. They might make that card later.
Derivatives.
But the Super Factorial effect is pretty simple.
Imaginary numbers they could do.
That would be very funny, MathMech Imaginary. Make him like a 0/0 free special summon or something.
You gave me fond memories of my high school math teacher throwing in math jokes into the fucking exams. It's like, oh, little number one is playing with his imaginary friend. It's just the letter I.
Listen, honestly, I probably would have done better if I had more teachers who tried to make math like that. I had a lot of problem with math classes because a lot of it was so abstracted, and I was just like, you're just saying words to me. I don't get it. This is why I was very
No,
terrible at advanced algebra stuff.
Our maths teacher was also the physics teacher, so yeah, the same one we got on that roller coaster ride. She was cool.
Nice. Yeah, I can't do the math required for physics, but I'm able to wrap my brain around physics concepts much easier.
Oh,
Chat, try to get me to talk about quantum chromodynamics sometimes.
I'm not sure the way you guys do it over there in the States, but over here, when you get to high school, you do stuff like Maths A, Maths B, Maths C, and the further along you go, the more difficult it is. When I went to high school, I was in Maths B and C because they're two different things, and C was the more advanced maths. I fucking sucked at it, but I was still in there.
So,
And
I mean, I was
the
homeschooled,
things-
so it was a lot of just topical
Oh, yeah,
courses.
you were.
But
Sorry.
the way that it usually works is there is usually, you know, your high school year of math, and then you might have an advanced placement math, but they also taught specific subjects, like they would break out geometry as a separate course, algebra, etc.
Yeah, we oh fuck, what was it? We dealt with arrays and stuff in Math C, which was fun. It was me and two other boys named Josh, which was very fun.
But yeah, so Superfactorial is a very fun card. This is the primo spell trap you search when you're searching spell traps for MathMechs. It is a normal trap that says, target 3 MathMech monsters in your graveyard with different names, then activate one of these effects. Either special summon them if their effects are negated, then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon a MathMech synchro monsters, then shuffle the materials into the deck instead of sending them to the graveyard. Or special summon their effect negated after immediately after they're resolved, exceed summon a MathMech using those monsters. You only activate one Superfactorial per turn. So Superfactorial basically lets you go on your opponent's turn, if you so choose, at a normal trap speed, either make Final Sigma or make your choice of the Xyz monster with 3 materials.
Yes, this has fucked me up several times when I fought against MathMechs.
Yeah. You gotta watch out for
It's
this
like,
guy.
Time to go do my plays, and they go, fuck you, here's Laplation.
Yeah, I've made the big boy. I will now do an interruption. The main thing is just you have to hope you have something to force it out before they do that. Because then obviously they can still activate, like, say, the hand drip effect, but, you know, they won't get your whole beans. Or, you know, they could go into that problem where they make the whole guy, and then you're just like, imperm. Perish.
Guess I'll die.
Effect Veiler. You are already negated. I don't know.
Nani?
I'm getting honest. My hand trap package in MD is pretty lean. It's usually just Maxi Ash and then nothing.
I usually only end up running one Maxi and one Ash.
You know, if
Oh,
you got enough draw
greatest.
power, it works out. Also, I'm gonna be honest. There have been times where I've put one of in my deck and found them a fucking lot.
Yes.
I in the Duelist Festival before I built Gate Guardian, I was running Lab. I started like 3 games with my one of Eradicator in hand. I'm just like, I can only run one EEV. It's here already. Well, guess this guy's gonna have a bad time. They put Anti-Spell Fragrance to 2. I still get that shit in my starting hand a lot.
Yeah.
Also, yes, no, I like to win games, and I say this as a person who, by the way, PlayStation released their official look back on this year. My number 1 game should shock nobody. It was Final Fantasy XIV with 500 something hours. Hold on, let me check. Let me check my exact numberage here. Yes, 586 hours. Taking up 34%, 1/3 of all time spent playing on my PlayStation was on FF14. My number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel with 204 hours. So
It was voted on quite a lot
yeah,
last year.
it came up. Luckily, we're doing Alan Wake right now for a little while, so we don't need to worry about bonus streams. I'm sure you guys will come to annoy me next year sometime.
Fuck you, bonus streams.
I like the extra streaming once a month, but, you know, we're doing focused stuff. But, yeah, so I've played a lot of fucking Master Duel. Not as many as, you know, people who stream it for, like, 8 hours a day every day, but I played a lot. It was 11% of my playtime this year. So I play to win when I can, and yes, that means in Labyrinth I run the 1 EEV and the 2 anti-spell they allow, because Master Duel is dumb. I also run one of other things. I only run 1 D-Barrier and 1 Daruma Cannon, because I only need 1 copy.
Yeah. And I'll say it for Axe because I know he'll be tempted to say it. Most of the time watching you play Master Duel is like, oh, here's Omega raging again.
Well, as we've seen from our Prague series, I have terrible on-camera luck. I think my
Hey, you and me both.
yeah, you know. That's why we always had the weirdest matches in Prague.
I will say, your guys' luck scared me to so much that I had to play decks that at least would only brick.
It was always
Only
off camera luck
only
that
two copies
scared
of my
you.
deck can brick. Until like I just stopped giving a fuck, and then I just played decks.
And I mean,
talk
talk about bricking. I've been playing Gate Guardian. There's some bad hands in Gate Guardian, even though I have three Sacred Sword of 7 stars, which is my pot of greed. Listen, the ratio is you run 2 of each Gate Guardian guy, so you can, if you draw, it's really weird. I don't know why they designed the fusions this way. If you draw only 2 of the boys, you can't make a fusion from hand. If you draw 1 of each, you can make Gate Guardians combine. That can banish from hand. The other 3 can't do that. It's weird. So yeah, there are some fucking brick-ass hands. That's why I run 2 Fenrir. I also run 2 Fenrir in Labyrinth. Kashir Fenrir is not an okay card, guys. He's really not. You should probably make it so there's only 1 Fenrir, if at all. Master Duel. He's only an SR. It's okay. But yeah, Super Factorial basically is a trap card that, like we said, instantly goes into either your big synchro or your choice of your Xyz monsters. It is searchable, and that is bad for you. So now let's talk about the Geometry Boys, because we've added a couple of these. So we're gonna go slightly out of alphabetical order and talk about Diameter first, because he came out first. So usually when we do a deck build pack, right, there's usually like 1 or 2 support cards that come out in the next couple of core sets. That was Diameter. He came out in Rise of the Duelist in 2020. So, you know, a little under a year later, about 8 or 9 months. He's called Zanki Dia in Japanese because they didn't want to go Diameter. So this guy is clearly like a new line, right? Like he's all whites, but he's got like the rainbow glow. Got a big, you know, a chakram weapon because he's Diameter. His feet are also immensely fucked up. That's really off center. Hold on, let me squish that in a little. But like, the feet are really weird. They're like hollow. Also got a pinchable waist. I'm seeing Loth light up, but I don't hear anything.
Oh, sorry.
There it is. Okay.
Again, that's my fan.
All right, I was just double. Sometimes I can't tell because I also I have the background music, so I couldn't hear the fan noise.
With the color and the shiny like rainbow stuff, I honestly can be like, this is just a fucking what was it? Gem Knight posing as a match mech.
A little. He's not quite as crystalline, but yeah, this is definitely, we're starting a new design language, but it is different.
It is remarkably different, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
Too, because it's Diameter.
Yeah.
But.
So, Diameter is a light Cyberse tuna. This is their 3rd tuner. So I guess that means it's like supposed to be like a representative of this new line of them. Level 4, obviously. 1,000 attack, 1,500 defense, so similar stats to what's going on with Sigma. When this card is normal summoned, that's right, Mathmex didn't have a normal until Diameter came out. You can target a level 4 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it can't activate its effects. A Mathmech monster that was Sync or Xyz summoned using this card gains the following effect. Once per turn, during the turn this card was special summoned, when your opponent activates a card or effect, negate it. You can only use each effect of Diameter once per turn. I have no idea what this has to do with circles.
Yeah.
I guess the symbol for a Diameter is a circle with a slash through it, which is its, you know, that's the symbol behind it with its chakram. And I guess that's kind of like a no, so I guess that's why it negates. And I guess it summons back a guy, so that's kind of like a loop. But yeah, I mean, Diameter's a good card. I just don't understand why it's called Diameter, you know? Other than that, again, the negate thing is funny. But yeah,
It feels like instead of trying to slash you with its like wing blade, it'll just like push it up against you, be like, no.
Yeah, so there's some interesting stuff going on. But yes, this is the first card that Mathmex have that actually does something on normal summon, so you have a reason to normal summon him.
Yeah, it was a bit of a downer not having anything activate on normal summon with Mathmex.
Yeah,
because it felt like, oh,
it feels like
you
you're
have
wasting
to special
proc,
summon
right?
these
yeah.
guys.
Like you feel like you're wasting your opportunity if you're not actually doing their stuff. Which again, I think kind of makes sense for addition and subtraction because I think Konami originally thought this deck would lean more towards the blind second OTK type strategy because you can target your opponent's cards, obviously. But it turns out, especially with cards like Diameter, which gives your Synchros and Xyz a negate, only on the turn they're special summoned. But remember, Super Factorial.
Yeah, that was. Accounting for Super Factorial in this makes Diameter mean.
Yes. I presume that's why Master Duel went to limiting him. Also, it's a rare, so, you know, if you decraft it, it's not a big deal. But yeah, Diameter is an interesting card that's kind of like your one normal summon proc. It did not have enough juice to make the deck, like, super, super popular. But our latest boy might be. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Circular.
Yes, this guy.
Boy, this one is also shiny.
This motherfucker right here.
Yeah, so he's got, like, it feels kind
Jesus
of like
Christ.
a bow, but also a blade, because he's got, like, a protractor.
Yeah, it also looks like he's just wielding a weird dual disc.
Yeah. He's got his hand back, so I
Also-
think it's supposed to be like a bow, but yeah, it's drawn like a protractor.
Also, with the way he looks, you could also tell me he looks like a fucking Magna Warrior.
Yeah, this I mean, it's because he's, you know, circular, so he's got, like, which is, in this case, supposed to be short for circular segment, so he's got, like, you know, half circles or quarter circles all over his body. It's very weird. I think that because the abbreviation for Diameter was Dia in Japanese, aka Diamond, that's why they're so shiny. So they really are knockoff Gem Knights.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I think I interrupted you for a moment there, X. Do you have something to say about this guy's design?
He's thinking.
I just
Or maybe he didn't hear me.
I just like how it's the chromatic steel, and I guess just like feels like it's made of DVDs. Oddly enough.
Yeah, he does have that kind of optical shine effect.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Or like metallic DVD, like metal DVDs or something.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I know what you mean.
I don't
The,
remember
the
what that
kind
kind
you'd
of-
see in the shops where you could just be like, here's some blank DVDs for you to burn on.
It's I think it's bismuth is the metal that has that effect. But yeah,
bismuth.
there's that kind
I
of like that metallic sheen. Also, as Spirit and Lapis said it in chat, it's they're the RGB duo.
Loft. I
They are
don't.
kind of doing that.
Loft. I don't want to see an RGB rifle again.
Yeah, because I took Axe through the entirety of Cursed Halo. He got to see the RGB Covenant squad, which was hilarious.
That was fun. They were relatively fine. It was just like I just wish more of the guns were actually guns.
Hearing Axe breaking down, like legitimately, I could just hear the controller drop from his hand, and he's just like, I can't do this anymore.
Boy, yeah,
I never reached that point, but like
That
I
do
remember
be
we tried to do all things with a truck gun.
that
it
do
did not
be
go
cursed
well.
Halo. That sounds cursed. Anyway, let's say
Or
what
truck gun.
what
Halo,
Circular
Loft's
does.
biggest enemy.
Mathmex Circular is a light Cybers level 4. It is 15/15. So, as I said, you can tell on how Master Duel makes its decisions. Has nothing to do with finisher rate or usage rate, and has everything to do with the rarity they arbitrarily assign to the card. Because in the TCG and the OCG, Circular is the card that is limited to 1. And that doesn't matter because this was a super. This was basically the equivalent of a normal rare card in Pote. You get 1 super every booster pack. Okay? Like, this guy is a normal-ass card. You could buy him for 10 cents right now. But I'm pretty sure in Master Duel he was like yeah, it's an ultra rare. Because of course it fucking is.
Well, probably because it is like the card for MathMac. I can kind of see why, but at the same
Yeah.
time,
It's just there's a lot of ups and downs to the rarity system, but it's
Depends.
still like
what other UR cards was it with when it came out? Because that's when it really gets fucky. It's like, oh, here's a card that's a UR, but like when you
So
look
I
at the
think
other
that-
URs in the mix,
I think the thing they added it in. Let me double check where it is because you can get it in Master
it?
Pack. You can get it in Singular Strike Overthrow, which is a secret pack. So that's the secret pack they updated. They added Circular. They added Hamp, Surgical Striker, the Sky Striker card. That was a UR. Linkage was a UR. Please don't tell me Aileron was a UR. Okay, thank God. It was an SR. That's still a ripoff because it's Aileron.
oh
but
right, yeah. If you
because
if
the
you wanted
secret pack
Mathmax, you had-
is Mathmax Sky Striker, yeah.
yeah, you had to do Sky Strikers to get MathMax. I don't like that because I don't like Sky Strikers.
That said, they're doing a selection pack right now called Mighty Contenders, because they've unbanned all the Zodiacs. So yeah, enjoy that.
What?
Yeah, no, Zodiac's at full power in Master Duel. Also,
fuck's sake.
Dragon Rulers are not at full power, but you can play a lot of Dragon Rulers. So they did a new selection pack, so you can get Circular and all the Mathmex in this selection pack, along with let me list all the URs that are in this pack. Okay, so the selection pack, which is technically better because all the cards are from the selection pack, you can get Shurag, Bucephalus 2, Drident, Alimbertian, Final Sigma, Garura, Redox, Tidal, Tempest, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, Circular, Kurikara Divincarnate, Zodiac Barrage, and that's all the Ultras.
If there was any more reason to not go back to Master Duel for me, I think I've uninstalled it now because I'm just like, nah. Can't be fucked.
It's a little brutal. It's not for everybody. Like I said, I got 200 hours. I'm okay at the doing the stuff. I don't know if I'll ever make it out of Platinum.
I had to make a decision. Do I want to reinstall KOTOR 2 or do I want to play more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel?
Does KOTOR work?
Yes.
KOTOR 2? Yeah. I mean, I had to make some adjustments. I actually modded it in such a way where like certain NPCs weren't showing up, which broke the game for a little bit.
Yeah, but you can. That's the thing. You can fix KOTOR.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
get to
fix
walk
the Yu-Gi-Oh!
around-
meta.
I get to walk around with red and black T3 and 4. The true Darth T3 experience.
That's very funny. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest. I think most people who play Master Duel, if you told them that was your binary choice, I must either keep Master Duel installed or reinstall KOTOR 2. Most would probably be like, you should probably go KOTOR 2.
Yeah. Trying to be an evil asshole. It's great.
Portrayal.
Yeah, no, I posted it in games. I couldn't grab a screenshot of Kreia fucking lightning evil looking T3, but it was great.
But yeah, so let's explain why Circular is normally so good.
Yes, sorry for the
Sorry,
tangent,
sorry.
everyone.
You're good.
It's fine. We're under 2 hours and this is our literal last card. We're gonna be out of here fast. Let me take a drink of water so I can actually speak in a rapid manner. All right, Circular says, you can send one Mathmech monster except Circular from your deck to your graveyard. Semicolon. Special this card from your hand. Also, you can only attack with one monster for the rest of this turn. If a Mathmech monster is normal or special while you control this monster, add a Mathmech spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Circular once per turn. So Circular is a Foolish Burial, 2 special summon, which is a great starter. And if it is normaled or specialed, add any Mathmech spell trap, like, I don't know, Super Factorial. Or if you're going second for some reason, you can also use it to get Billion Blade and just be like, your life's over. You're dead. So yeah, Circular is one of those cards where, and there were a lot of these in Power of the Elements, but this is when Konami was just like, no, this archetype will be good. Here, take this card. It does everything. And then they were like, hold on, wait, doing too much. Limit. Too much card.
Too much card.
Too much card, not enough space. Bird Warehouse. That's just for Loth.
I'm sorry, what?
I said too many cards, not enough space. Bird Warehouse.
I want a refund. Get out.
When did I get back to? When did I get back to the warehouse?
Okay, all right. And then, but before we end up, because we will wrap up pretty succinctly. I know Axe has some stuff he's been promised to do, and I hopefully it's not been carrying over. But as usual, I have been sitting in an in-room adding more hours to my Final Fantasy XIV playtime while we're here.
I was also thinking of
know-
logging onto the 14s as well.
I mean,
So
you could at least be playing Portrayal.
the only thing,
Do that grind.
no, because I
No.
couldn't do that actually. I would have to turn around.
Different
But-
screens.
I just want to bring up the Fail Portrayal poll is flowing for this month. Your selections are your options were Fire Fist, Gimmick Puppet, Gotti, Incantation,
Gotti.
and Viacroid. Currently, Fire Fist is winning with 3 votes, with 9 total votes. You still got over a week left though, so there's some time.
Can we grab Robin for the Fire Fist episode? Because it feels very fitting.
I mean, if Robin happens to hear this and is available, I don't know what his work is like. It sounds like he's been pretty heavy the past couple of weeks and months. If you're ever curious
God,
why time codes don't show up on FGO episodes.
If I ever get a job, because for all you guys who don't know, I'm unemployed, it's going to be very awful because then I can never show up for things anymore.
I mean, it depends on the timing, but yeah, it might be like that. Anyway,
yeah.
blah. That's, I think, everything I had to say about that. So that's been MathMech. Let me real quick check what our
I'm
next
surprised
archetype-
they added more main deck monsters and didn't add any like an extra deck monster of some variety.
Well, I think it's because, to briefly talk about that, thematically, you have them in sets, right? You have Sigma Addition and Subtraction are Fire and Light. Nabla Multiplication Division are Dark and Earth. Those each have 2 extra deck monster types. So, you've got Diameter and Circular are both light. So, really what they need is probably a third geometry-themed light guy, something to do with, circles, like maybe radius or something. And then they probably need a new extra deck type. I was going to say maybe a Link monster, but actually I think with circles, they should get a fusion. And they can be the Purpley Boys, maybe. That or, make them rituals. I don't fucking... That's not like there's not Cyber's ritual monsters already, But there's definitely room for them to grow, but I feel like because these guys shot to meta this year and were hit by a ban list, right? Konami's probably not in a hurry to give them extra support, but I would, for future MathMech stuff, keep an eye out. There probably will be another main deck guy in the theme of Diameter and Circular, and they could go to a new extra deck monster type.
Just give us actual Delta. Just fuck it.
Delta does have a lot of mathematical applications, but let's see. They were in Mystic Fighters. The next deck build pack was Secret Slayers. Oh, God, Secret Slayers. Okay. Guys, we get to take our pick. I think we've already done Rika because that was a solo mode. So, do you want to talk about Adamantipator or Eldritch? Everybody's favorite decks.
Eldritch.
I'd rather talk about Eldritch than Adamantipator, honestly.
Okay, I'll save that for a
Did we
later.
already do Adamantipator?
I don't think so. Adamantipator will be weird because I'm going to be like, look at these 3 anime people. Look at these 3 rocks. Now the rock is a
Did we at
bird.
least talked about
Yeah,
Solidify?
that's how it goes. And then Eldritch is, look at this one guy.
I mean, Eldritch, there's trap monsters to talk about, and we can talk about why
wait.
nobody plays the Eldritch Fusion.
Hold on, sorry. Here's this one guy. And here's this one guy when he hasn't taken his medication.
Here's this one guy, but doing a sexy pose.
Oh, yeah, look, I got that art. Good art. I love it.
Yeah. So that'll be
all
next
those
time.
fucking dumbass art I see of just Dragon Maid laundry hanging out with Eldritch is the funniest fucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's because she sends from deck to grave. There's a lot of funny stuff. Also, honestly, I think you're really seeing between Mystic Fighters and Secret Slayers that I know people joke about there being only one good archetype in deck build packs, but there were a few where that wasn't true. All 3 of the decks in Mystic Fighters have representation in their own way. Again, some of it's in different regions. But also, all 3 of the decks in Secret Slayers have also been good. At Emancipator, they had to ban Block Dragon, but I don't think there's any reason why you don't play Eldritch other than just there are decks that make Eldritch cry. Which is good. Eldritch should cry. Fuck him. I hate his guts. And I hate that people played him in Master Duel for like a fucking year.
Like, I laugh. I was also in the same boat as Omega. Nowadays, I just laugh because it's like, oh, look at this fucker.
Now you're free. I'm not free. Though, like I
Yeah.
said, thankfully, I don't think I've seen an Eldritch deck in a long fucking time. But
It's like when I finally decided to delete Tumblr. I'm like, I'm free!
yeah. But that
My
means you guys have something to
soul
look
is
forward
free.
to. Please remember to subscribe, give this video a like, tell your friends if they play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or maybe if they don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe they'll find it funny to learn things about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards against their will. Kidnap your friends and force them to watch Fail Portrayal.
They'll appreciate you eventually.
Otherwise, we know of a lovely thing called Stockholm Syndrome, which will solve it
Actually,
for
that's
you.
actually not a thing. It's actually more learned helplessness.
Well, anyway, we're talking about advanced
They don't need to
psychology.
know that.
Anyway, that's all for today. See you tomorrow for Final Fantasy XIV, where I will make it to Mount Gulg. Good
Mount
night, everybody.
Google
Who actually, Alof, I might want to try to do the Mount Gold run. It's stupid, but I want to try. You want to do it?
I mean, currently,